GameGuardian turned millions of players into hackers, while Lucky Patcher only patched apps and Freedom unlocked in-app purchases. This app went further. It directly modified the game's memory in real time. You could change coins, lives, speed, whatever you wanted. But every modification came with a cost. Deleted accounts, wiped progress, and instant bans. So today, you'll see the dark truth behind GameGuardian. In the early years of Android, around 2010, modifying apps was a common practice among the most curious users. The operating system was even more open than it is today, and many apps stored their data locally in files like OBB and data. That allowed tools like Lucky Patcher or Freedom to tweak internal files to remove ads, bypass licenses, or unlock purchases for free. These methods were simple, and for a while they worked really well. But they had a clear limit. Every time a developer updated the app or moved its checks online, the patch instantly became useless. That's when a new app began circulating, GameGuardian. No one really knew who made it, but it quickly became popular in Android customization communities. Unlike the previous tools, GameGuardian didn't alter the game's files. It worked directly on the system memory while the game was running. This technical difference made it faster, more precise, and above all, harder to block. Its rise coincided with early Android versions between 2.3 and 4.4. A time when phones had almost no restrictions. Early users discovered they could change any in-game value, coins, health, experience, and see the results instantly. Over time, the community began creating custom scripts and visual menus that grouped several cheats into one panel. These became the famous mod menus, the signature feature of GameGuardian. That ability to adapt so quickly kept the app relevant for years. While Lucky Patcher and Freedom fell behind modern security systems, GameGuardian evolved alongside Android. Its community constantly released updates, guides, and new scripts for every version, and for a while, it became an essential tool for anyone who wanted to modify a game or feel like a hacker. But the question everyone kept asking was, how did it actually work? Because very few people ever learned to use it correctly. GameGuardian worked on a simple principle. Everything happening in a game passes through the device's RAM memory, and the app allowed you to search those values in real time, the binary numbers behind everything you see. For example, your coin count or life total could be located and changed while the game was still running. That way, players could alter values and instantly see the result. No reinstallations, no repatching, nothing. Over time, the community pushed this idea much further. Users started creating automated scripts that traced memory addresses, moved data, or executed multiple cheats at once. That's how mod menus were born, floating panels inside the game itself, where you could activate advanced options, infinite resources, super speed, teleportation, or access to locked levels. Everything ran right on screen, simple, powerful, and dangerous. The biggest obstacle was system access. To modify memory at a deeper level, root permissions were required, something many avoided because of the risk of breaking their phones. To solve that, GameGuardian added compatibility with virtual spaces, environments that simulated root access without changing the real system. Thanks to that, GameGuardian's reach expanded. You no longer needed to be an expert or root your device. Anyone could use it. But as Android evolved, so did its security. Developers started implementing server-side validation and real-time detection systems that monitored every change. As a result, GameGuardian began to lose effectiveness in online games. It was still useful offline, but online titles either ignored the edits or flagged them in seconds. Some private scripts could still bypass those protections, but they were rare and soon turned into a small underground market in certain forums. Even so, GameGuardian remained a piece of brilliant engineering. Yet most users kept wondering, how safe was it really? And how legal? From the start, GameGuardian operated outside any legal framework. It was never on the Google Play Store, and its use violated the terms of service of nearly every app and game. In other words, every time someone used it, they were breaking an agreement with the developer, even if it was just to experiment. Few read those terms, but the consequences were clear: permanent bans, lost progress, and revoked in-game purchases. But the risk didn't stop there. Downloading GameGuardian from third-party sites came with serious security threats. Over time, hundreds of fake pages began offering updated or premium versions of the app, many of which were infected with malware, adware, or spyware. Although GameGuardian had an official site, most people didn't know which one it was, and they often ended up installing modified copies. By contrast, the original version maintained by its long-standing community is considered relatively safe, as long as it's downloaded from its real website. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still a tool that modifies other programs' processes, something Android policies and game studios strictly forbid. For many veteran users, GameGuardian symbolizes an era when curiosity and technological freedom mattered more than rules. And yet, the big question remains: what happened to GameGuardian? Does it still work today? Or is it just a relic from Android's golden age? Surprisingly, yes, GameGuardian still exists. Although its fame isn't what it once was, the project remains active and continues to receive updates to stay compatible with modern Android versions. It can still modify values in offline games, run scripts, and read memory in real time. But its effectiveness today is far more limited than it was a decade ago. The main reason lies in how the industry evolved. Developers no longer trust data stored on the phone. Almost everything is validated on servers. That means, even if you change the coin count or any other value, the server will notice and revert it in seconds, or ban you instantly. Most modern games also use anti-cheat systems, capable of detecting GameGuardian or virtual environments, triggering automatic shutdowns, account bans, or connection errors. In the few cases where it still works, mostly older, offline titles or small apps with minimal protection, the tool keeps its essence. For some enthusiasts, GameGuardian is no longer a cheating app, but a way to study how Android processes and memory actually work. A small masterpiece of modern engineering. Still, time changed its role. What was a modding revolution in 2015 is now, in 2025, almost pure nostalgia. Most people only know it from videos, old forums, or curiosity. Yet its legacy is undeniable. GameGuardian gave an entire generation the feeling of being hackers. Ultimately, GameGuardian survives more as a myth than a tool. It's a reflection of that Android era when freedom reigned, when anyone could experiment, modify, and explore. Today, its story serves as a reminder that technological freedom and digital security have always been in tension. And even if it's no longer the king of modding, its name remains synonymous with the curiosity that defined the early years of the world's most open operating system.